At People's Capital Group, we help you invest in real estate. Build your wealth by owning professionally managed apartment buildings in the northern New Jersey market. We want to show you how owning real estate is attainable, even for the busy professionals that don't have the time or experience investing in real estate. Now, we only work with select people who are serious about building wealth, so find out if you qualify at peoplescapitalgroup.com. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, it's Aaron Fragnito with the Passive Cash Flow podcast. Today I'm going to talk about quick ways to double your money. Now, this topic is a little bit of a clickbaity type of topic here, but I wanted to talk about it because people come to me a lot. Actually, I speak with very savvy investors, multimillionaire investors that say they want to double their money in a year, and I get it. Everyone wants to make the highest possible returns as quickly as possible. So I'm going to do a podcast episode here about quick ways to double your money. Let's break right into it. First, I'm going to talk about 4 real estate investment strategies to make fast returns and strong returns. And then I'll break into about a dozen different ways outside of real estate to quickly double your money. So first of all, let's start with real estate, since this is a real estate podcast. So we're going to talk about renting space, actually units in rooms in a house, multiple rooms inside a house. We're going to talk about fix and flipping here, short-term rentals, buy and holds, and property data, and using data to determine the best return on investment opportunities. And then we'll break into the other ways to double your money outside of real estate. So renting out rooms is actually a way to make very good return on your investment in real estate. You could do this in the house you live in. You could do this in other single family homes, and you could do this in different boarding houses and things like that as well. Now, I would warn there are rules and regulations sometimes with zoning that prevents you from doing this, but essentially with Airbnb and other websites similar to Airbnb, you can lease out individual rooms in the house and earn a much stronger cash flow on the property, and therefore make a much stronger return on your investment. So you might want to look into that in university towns, college towns, high density cities, of course, where people are looking for renting a room, maybe for a weekly rate or something like that. And I would warn you, though, the individuals you may be acquiring and attracting into that types of opportunity could be inexperienced tenants or undesirable tenants as well that may have bad intentions for your property there. So it could be very management intensive. Another way to make quick returns and strong returns in real estate is fix and flips. I'm not going to break in too much into this because we all pretty much know what this is. You're going to buy a fixer-upper, renovate it for hopefully a reasonable price, keep your costs low, keep your project on schedule and on budget, and then try to sell it for as much as you can, maybe hire a realtor and sell it to a move-in owner-occupant buyer. Okay, a family that's going to pay top dollar for a nice renovated piece of real estate they're going to live in. So fix and flipping real estate, you can watch the TV shows on it that'll explain how easy it is to fix and flip real estate. I say that rolling my eyes because in my experience, the hardest dollar I've ever made was fixing old broken real estate and selling it for top dollar. It's actually a lot harder than it sounds. It doesn't even sound that easy. So fix and selling real estate, though, could be a very profitable avenue in real estate if done properly. Short-term rentals. So back to Airbnb here, VRBO, different websites you can do short-term rentals on. Now, I personally didn't have a great experience with short-term rentals. I felt they were very management intensive. The amount of wear and tear on your residential single-family property or duplex was outrageous. There's a reason hotels are built a certain way. When someone goes on vacation, they tend to beat on the real estate a little bit. So just a lot of challenges there. Also, the turnover crews, the handymen, you need a plumber at all hours of the night, or in between turnovers you have 4 hours and tenants break things you have to get fixed. It's a very, very actually difficult business, and there's so many service providers and costs necessary to run short-term rentals the right way. I found it not worth my time or energy. But you may have had a different experience. Maybe I was in too rural a market. I could have made some mistakes there as well. I'm sure there are ways to make great profits in short-term rentals, and if you can crack that code, this could be a good way to make more aggressive returns in real estate and double your money over time. And speaking of quick ways to double your money here, buy and hold. Now, this is actually not really a quick way necessarily, but if you buy a property for a good enough price, a discounted price, you renovate it, and you're able to rent it out, you can refinance your money back and essentially get all your investment back and then be cash flowing on the property. Also, over time, it's going to increase in value. You could always sell it and harvest your profit there. But I'm a big buy and hold guy. I own a lot of apartment buildings, as you may know, if you've followed any of our other content there. So I'm a big fan of this. Out of everything on this list, I'm the biggest believer of buy and holds. Really, I'm not a get rich quick kind of guy. I always say wealth takes time. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. But of course, this episode here of the Passive Cashflow Podcast is called Quick Ways to Double Your Money. So we're talking about the most aggressive strategies in real estate right now. And finally, I'm going to talk about utilizing data on property investments to determine the strongest investments for you. This could be prices in both the local and national markets where you're trying to pinpoint markets that are flourishing or about to flourish. Maybe there's lots of Fortune 500 companies going there, or just big hiring hubs going in that area, and maybe a sleepy market that's becoming alive now and more desirable. The characteristics and preferences of home buyers. Again, people may be moving out to more suburban areas, okay, or people may be moving out of inner city areas, right? So, or vice versa. So look at those statistics there. Look at where the demand is moving to, and try to follow that wave if possible, and buy in up and coming markets for good prices. And of course, legislation at federal and state levels might impact the housing industry. So any savvy real estate investor is going to keep an eye on the politicians and whatever they're up to, especially if you're trying to do, say, short-term rentals, and all the politicians in that city are talking about outlawing short-term rentals. And maybe you don't want to buy a property where the strategy is to lease it on Airbnb in that city, because the politicians could change the laws, and very quickly you could be out of business, right? So that could be something you really want to pay attention to if that's your investment strategy. Okay, now let's talk about investment strategies to double your money, but outside of real estate. Okay, so first of all, I'd have to talk about the S&P 500 index fund, right? That's a phenomenal way to just build wealth in real estate. Over time. The S&P 500, if you're in an index fund, you can be in a lot of different types of categories throughout the S&P 500, a lot of different companies, and that's going to dilute your risk. So really, everyone should have a little bit of capital in probably a mutual fund or an ETF that follows the S&P 500. It's never a bad place to park a little bit of cash if you're looking to put cash outside of real estate, of course. Bond investing. Bonds are a good way to make a consistent return, but not a good way to double your money quickly. So if you're really looking to double your money quickly, high-risk bonds would be a more aggressive way to go. But of course, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. But at the same time, the higher the risk, the more likely you may be that a company or that country or whoever is issuing the bond could go out of business. Like when Puerto Rico filed bankruptcy or something like that, right? So if higher risk bonds for less quality borrowers are essentially could be a way to double your money faster. But again, every piece of the pie that leads to building your return is ideally going to lead to building risk as well. So the more return you get, generally the more risk you're taking on as well. But here's another strategy overall, a 401k plan. This could be a really easy way for your company, a company you're working with, to maybe match part of what you're putting into your 401k. This is a great way. A lot of investors we work with are hardworking individuals in corporate America, and they have a strong 401k plan, and their employer matches maybe 5 or 10% of what they're putting in. And those individuals are pretty aggressive with what they're putting into their 401k. They try to max it out every year. And over time, that 401k really grows in value. Maybe it's riding with the S&P 500. And they can always create a solo 401k or a self-directed IRA and actually move some of that into real estate as well. So a 401k plan can be in the stock market. Also, over time, it could be deferred into real estate also. But that's a great way to build your wealth, tax deferred or tax free. The 401k and IRA are great strategies there. trade cryptocurrencies. Now, I don't actually suggest doing this, but I wanted to touch on it because this topic is quick ways to double your money. So when trying to double your money, as I tried myself to take some of my cash, probably too much of it, and put it into cryptocurrencies, right around October and September of last year. So about a year ago, I bought a lot of cryptocurrencies hoping to double my money quickly, and I instead actually lost about 80% of my investment. Okay, it was I haven't sold them. I'm a holding on for lifer, I guess, but only by force. I think cryptocurrency personally was a bit of a maybe years from now it'll be worth more than I put in, but if that's how it goes, then it's not a good investment in my mind, and it didn't help me sleep at night either. So if you know what you're doing, you can do well in cryptocurrencies. If you don't know what you're doing, like most of us in cryptocurrency, then that's maybe not the best place to invest. But hey, put a little money in there. Who knows? Maybe you could double your money quickly, because it is a volatile market, and right now crypto is down, so it could be a great time to buy, but who the heck knows? And of course, the stock market here, back to different ways to double your money quickly. You have options in the stock market. You have put options that permits you to sell stocks at a predetermined price prior to the contract's expiration. And then you have call options, permits you to purchase stocks at a certain price prior to the contract's expiration. Now, I don't know very much about option trading. My brother's very much into it, and I know people that do well with it, but I also know from my brother there who does it that you could also lose money as well. It's a very complicated way to trade. You have to know what you're doing or be working with professionals that know how to trade options. So there's tons of courses about it and ways to learn option trading. And if done properly, it can be a profitable avenue. However, it is very in-depth and not suggested for beginners in the stock market. And then there's oversold stocks. So these are stocks that are essentially underpriced and for whatever reason they're being oversold. You want to look at the company's ability to recover and maintain profitability. Maybe there's a scandal going on in the company. Right now, things are down, the stock is down, but it has a good infrastructure and a good vision overall, a good product, and over time you know that the company's going to come back, or at least you hope so. So you want to look into also whether a business has capable management and a sound business plan, and why did the shares of the firm fall in the first place, of course. Was there a money worry? Was there a changing of the CEO or something like that? New adversaries or overhype? Was it being overpriced to begin with? So look at all those avenues, but there are great stock picks out there of oversold stocks you could buy for a good price, especially now as the market's kind of in a recession. There could be good stock buys out there. But of course, investing in an individual stock is one of the riskiest ways to invest in the stock market. And then there's investment accounts. So savings accounts, higher interest savings accounts. These aren't really ways to double your money quickly, but you can look into different options here. These are very liquid options as well. You can look into financing for a tiny company concept, putting money aside for financial assets, and then also looking into companies business investing here. So one interesting company website is Main Invest. It's a crowdsourcing website that allows you to invest in small businesses, and they vet the businesses to make sure they're ideally strong investments. You can invest in breweries, theaters, food trailers, eateries, commerce, and of course the idea is to make a good return on investment, help Main Street small businesses grow quickly. And apparently some of the returns you can witness are up to 25%, but of course you can lose all your money as well investing in a small business, because small businesses can go out of business quite quickly. And finally here, start a side hustle. So this is a little bit of a way to double your money, but now you got to put the hours in, so it's not a passive investment. But if you're looking for an active investment, you can sell photography, you can do freelance gigs, virtual assistants. We have almost a dozen virtual assistants here at People's Capital Group. We hire from all around the world who specialize in very particular things and do services for us for great prices. Affiliate marketing, or even becoming a social media influencer. Even if you don't have tens of thousands or millions of followers like Kim Kardashian, you can still be a micro influencer and still actually make a small return on investment there as well. And high return investments in general tend to be higher risk. So final thoughts here: when you're looking to double your money, avoid these get-rich-quick schemes or these online schemes you'll find that probably have similar titles like Quick Ways to Double Your Money here. And the reason I wanted to make a podcast called Quick Ways to Double Your Money is because I personally get caught up in the cryptocurrency or the next great thing. And listen, there are great opportunities out there and there are unicorns to invest in. But is everything a unicorn? Of course not. That's literally why we call it a unicorn, because it's unique and rare. So for the most part, the right way to make a good wealth and build strong wealth and create consistent cash flow over time is to invest in things like professionally managed real estate, ETF and mutual funds that ride the S&P 500, and different high interest savings accounts when your capital is sitting liquid. So I always say investors should have about 50% to a third of their capital invested in professionally managed, high demand real estate. And that's exactly what we do here at People's Capital Group. We help people passively invest in apartment buildings right here in New Jersey, and we manage them with our in-house management company so they produce consistent wealth through cash flow and refinance capital and consistent tax depreciation, as well as all real estate offers. So that's what we do here at People's Capital Group. We've been doing it for over a decade. If you want to learn more, go to our website, peoplescapitalgroup.com. You can check out our past performance and all of our other content there. It's all completely free. And when you're ready, click that button, register here to invest. Now, by the way, I come out with new podcasts every week, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to our podcast here if you're listening on Spotify or Apple iTunes, and hey, give us a review. I'd love to hear your review on our podcast here. We're up to over 100 episodes, and I'm going to keep on going strong here every week. Of course, I'm your host, Aaron Fragnito, with People's Capital Group, here the host of the Passive Cash Flow podcast. Enjoy your day, and good luck doubling your money.